Welcome, beautiful being. My name is Regina, and today I brought you a topic, a very important one, I feel, and we are going to talk about stress and anxiety and how to deal with it, how to recognize it, and how to deal with it, because it's important to recognize these emotions and to try to change our lifestyle so we can actually live or start living a stress free life. Now, let's start with how to recognize stress and anxiety. Now, for my definition, anxiety, it comes before stress. So that's like a preparation for stress. And stress is basically a high level of anxiety, like a very high level of anxiety. And how it starts. So it's anxiety starts within the mind, mostly, like we are worried. So it would be like worrying, anxiety, and stress. So we start to worry about something. We don't get somewhere in time, or something what I have ordered going to arrive in late for the event what I have created, or something like these things. Uh, and how is it represents in our body or manifest in our body these emotions? Well, it can be starting from our thoughts. So our thoughts are changing, and then our body behavior would change. Our cramping can cramp, and it's not easy to recognize it. So you need a lot of awareness to recognize this. But once you get to point your awareness to the recognition of worrying and anxiety, then it can become a habit to recognize it and stop it before it escalates to stress. Now we're all living in a stressful life and stressful world, I would say. And it is not easy to get out of it, especially who lives in cities, far away from nature, because cities can be quite intense and with lots of energies. And sometimes even if you are not stressful, maybe you can feel other other people's stress. So it can make you have these symptoms as well, like the worrying and anxiety and the stress, right? And and it's important to recognize this and to have more connection with nature. So we are natural beings, and therefore it is our nature to be and connected with nature. So when we connect with nature, with the trees, with the earth, with the soil, that is automatically distressing us. And when we are living in the city, wearing shoes, and being in these huge buildings or small buildings, and with electro domestics, it is hard. It is hard to distress. That's why it's important to introduce daily techniques into your life, into our daily habits, so we can actually lower our stress level. It can be anything really, like you go outside in the park and connect with the trees and nature around you. Maybe you can go barefoot as well, as much as possible on the soil and grass. Or you can do different breathing techniques so you connect with your breath, your essence. Or you can also practice meditation and nervous system regulation, especially, what is really useful. And body scan can be helpful, with guided meditation and sound healing. So all these practices are actually helping you to realign yourself to the highest frequency that you are, because with stress we lower our frequencies. And when we rest and realign our body, we raise again our frequencies. And it is important then that maybe after some times you start recognizing that what is causing actually stress and anxiety in your life, or worrying, that's the low level, right? Because once you recognize these things, then you can start to maybe remove them from your life as much as possible, and start to say no to things. You're creating your boundaries, and then you start saying no to people, to things that you don't want to do. And then maybe after sometimes you can also do a change, to move somewhere else that is less stressful, that you feel that the energies are less dense. Because energy density, what we can feel in cities or in different points of the earth, it can really change our behaviors, our thoughts, and how we feel. So that's why it's important to listen. How do we feel, and if that feeling is ours or is it coming from the outside, and we are bringing in to our body and then to our families, right? Because we want to give the best for our family, so we don't want to stress them or send them energies of stress. And I myself learning this, because I didn't know anxiety for quite long, but in the past years it came into my life a lot. And I am starting as well to recognize the moments when it comes, because it's very sneaky, it sneaks in, and you don't know why you feel in a certain way. But that's the moment when you can stop for a moment and just think, okay, what do I feel? Okay, I feel this way because I am worrying and I'm moving into anxiety because of a certain thing, or because of a certain environment I'm in. I'm feeling this way. That's good to recognize. Then I move on. So I'm not surrounded in this place, right? With these energies, with these people eventually. So practicing present moment awareness, that's the key point. Awareness, observation. We always get there. So it's always the key point to everything, really. So let's recap everything what I've been talking about. So the first step is recognition of your feeling, to being aware and observing ourselves when we are worrying, and then we're stepping into anxiety, and then we are overwhelmed by stress. So these are the levels, and then there are certain practices that we can all do in our everyday life, in our daily practices, to lower our stress levels and raise our frequencies. And these practices can be walking barefoot, staying in nature, listening to healing music, high frequency music, nervous system regulation, or body scan meditation. So all these can help, but there are a lot. Maybe just relaxing next to a pool, or a lake, it's even better, or going in a spa. So this can all help to distress yourself and to raise your frequencies and to live a calmer life. Because this is what we all want, to live a happier and more peaceful life. So just take a deep breath in and let all go what I just said, and take with you what has resonated with you. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And I would love to know how you deal with stress or how you recognize it, or maybe difficult moments that you've been through, but you managed to pass through by observing yourself. You can leave it in the comments. I would love to hear about those. Thank you so much. From my heart to yours. We see you again very soon. Bye.